The Codec Conversation.
Codec Conversation. The moment I always love because we get to put our heads together and really dig in some stuff.
Yeah, we do. Last week was a great show. We talked about some of the stuff that we can kind of conjure up with Metal Gear Solid 3 and the ending of it, and kind of the culmination between the relationship between the boss and Naked Snake. So how did Naked Snake become Big Boss, and the relationship between just them working out together, training together, and ultimately him, executing her. So what changed him and all the different emotions. I thought it was a great episode, and I'm sure you guys did as well. So Arnaldo, we got some emails.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yep. We actually got some feedback from the episode. Again, you guys can contact us at underthecardboardbox@gmail.com. We take all emails. We do not discriminate. But this is from our boy Daniel, right?
Yes.
Not my nephew who keeps telling me to shout him out. Love you, buddy.
There's a shout out.
So here we go. It says, "Hey guys, I just finished up episode 47, Naked Snake versus the Boss, at work yesterday, and I must say, it was for me the perfect episode." Did you hear that?
I heard that.
Yeah. Your discussion about the feelings between the Boss and Naked Snake and who was holding back at which point was great. In my opinion, the Boss would have kicked Snake's butt in the very end of the game, but she had to fulfill her mission, and this decision and the refused handshake was the perfect ending for this game. I might be wrong, in parentheses, with the handshake in the office, but in my memory, it was like this. And then he gave us an idea on what to talk about next. He says, maybe you could talk in a codec conversation about the ending scene in Metal Gear Solid 5, when Snake listens to the tape labeled "The Man Who Sold the World." When he turns, it reads Operation Interlude N313, the first mission of Solid Snake in MG1. When he breaks the mirror with the fist, the Diamond Dogs poster at the door turns into Outer Heaven logo. Do you think this means this ported us into 1995 when Venom Snake steps outside his room to fight Solid Snake? This would have been a perfect circle for the series.
Yeah. Thank you, Daniel Patch from Germany, all the way from Germany.
Yes.
Thank you for listening.
Yes. We've got some crazy geographical fans out there.
Yes. We check out the stats, as you know.
Places we don't even know. We would love to visit one day, I guess.
I think so, yeah. So he does talk about like a lot of the stuff that, we kind of mentioned over the time that we've been playing Metal Gear and stuff. But what the great thing about it is that we've had so many discussions between us, Arnaldo and I, about like the ending and different types of stuff. Well, just know that spoilers ahead for Metal Gear Solid 5. If you haven't played it, you might want to.
It's been 2 years, guys.
Yeah,
we're not apologizing for it.
And so you might want to stop the video, stop listening, and go play
still
that.
subscribe, please. Just subscribe
if you can.
Right there.
So the ending of Metal Gear Solid 5 was a little lackluster to me. Like I said in the review that we had for it. But because my expectations were like, we're finally gonna fight Snake through the eyes of obviously a new engine and new graphics, but also through the eyes of Big Boss. That's what I was kind of expecting. Big Boss, right? But Big Boss in the sense that now we know it was actually the first time he fought him was as Venom Snake, who is ultimately the person from Ground Zeroes that was in the helicopter. We all know that, right? The paramedic. So we now know that in the interim of it, it was Naked Snake, Big Boss, right, gave this task, this mission to yourselves, right, to us, the created player. Per se. And he was pretty much like, this is your mission. You are Big Boss. No, we are Big Boss. We are a product of each other, right? And one is the same as the other. So he kind of, in that beginning scene, he smirks. He's like, he kind of takes ownership of that, of like,
he's
that's
very
right.
proud about
He's very proud. He's like, I'm Big Boss,
not just
that I'm, a figment of him or whatever it is, or a phantom, per se, but I am Big Boss, as well as it says in the tape once when he puts it in, the man who sold the world. So yeah, that part was excellent. That part was great. And then after, as Daniel Patch says, he comes back and you do see the Outer Heaven logo. But before you see that, you actually see the MSX system, which was the original
Microsoft system
right
that they used to play the original MGS. For you guys who don't know, the MGS for the NES is not...
It's not the original.
Which technically makes it non-canon.
Right.
Apparently, Hideo Kojima did not touch the NES port.
Although it's a side-by-side port, so it's like it's the same game. It's just for a different system.
Well, no, actually, I have to say, no, it's not, because the thing is, I started playing it. I started playing the MSX version, and it does not start in the same way. It has a lot of the similar level details, some of it, but it's not the same. Like, if you look at the NES one, you drop down from a helicopter, or a plane rather,
and parachute down.
And parachute down. In the MSX version, you actually climb into a base.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it really is different. When I looked into it, I was like, I found out that they basically did it just so that NES would have one, and that they did it behind Kojima's back. Apparently, don't know if all that is true, but yeah, that's why when you play the HD collection, what you get is the MSX version, which is the one that is confusing as heck for me. Like, I can't even, like, I don't know how far into the game I am or whatever, but that's a coda conversation for a completely other day.
Yeah.
Once I'm finished, we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about possibly uploading some videos that we can talk about.
Well, yeah, no, that's good. I didn't know that detail. So there it is. But so we see the MSX inside, right next to the kind of like the tape player,
tape recorder, tape player. Yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting because now this tells you, because the tape on the other side is labeled as the mission, the very first mission that you see Solid Snake coming into, right? Mm-hmm. Which is the mission
Operation
Intrude, N313. So right next to it is the MSX. It's just obviously semblance of, Hideo Kojima and his savvy ways of saying, hey, this is where we are. We just jumped into 1995. Right. So he breaks the mirror and he kind of sees this figment of himself. Arnaldo noticed as well that his shrapnel kind of disappears and whatnot, or it gets lower, or shortens. So trying to figure that part out, and then he obviously walks into like this black cloudy area, which probably symbolizes that he's going into his doom. We know he dies in this mission, so with Snake,
right? If you notice, after he sees himself the second time and he's all bloodied up and his shrapnel's up there, right? It means that he's in MGS 5. When you do that, you've like completely become a demon. That's what that means. And so I guess when he saw himself like that, it was literally him giving all in to his role. Like, that's it. I'm going all out here. Like, the person I was is no more.
Yeah.
Regardless. And so when he broke the mirror, it was him just forgetting about it all and then going into the mission, going to fight Solid Snake. And you can kind of hear the conundrum during the ending video. If you go there, you'll hear the gunshots and stuff like that. That could be, the soldiers fighting Solid Snake and losing one by one, being killed, and him just getting ready for this battle, which he didn't know he would come out from, if he would come out from it at all. But it is actually doing it full circle, if we can say so, because if this was Kojima's last Metal Gear game, it's like he has to conclude it somehow. He has to conclude it full circle. It finally has to happen. He has to explain how Big Boss made it twice. He has to explain, so what's the story of this guy? He has to explain how Diamond Dogs went into becoming Outer Haven, And the question I was asking before and wondering, it's like, so who gave him the tape?
Yeah. So for me, I feel like I know you say that that he's just coming back full circle, which, yeah, obviously I think Hideo Kojima wanted to bridge that timeline. But if you notice in the Metal Gear versions of it, he's a lot older in the little icon. He's kind of like gray. He's very old. He has short hair, he kind of looks like how he did in Metal Gear Solid 4, eye patch and everything. But in this one, he obviously looks a little younger. I mean, a lot younger, actually. And doesn't look like too far into the future from Metal Gear Solid 5. So obviously there was that missed detail of it. I know you said that it could be just like he's seen who he was before and whatnot, and now like they don't show it. But I feel like maybe Hideo Kojima could have taken it a step further and been like, all right, for this to chronologically make sense, he has to be a lot older.
Right.
So, but also, would he be that much older from 1984 to 1995? Would he look that drastic? I don't think so.
Well, with all the war and stuff like that and stress.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying, like, I don't know if he would have a full gray head of hair, maybe through stress or whatever. But
I mean, how old are you? 26 now? 27?
I'm about to be 26. Yeah.
Right. You have gray hair.
I do, but not that much.
No, but but what I'm saying is, and another thing that just came to mind is that we don't know the age of Venom Snake.
Yeah,
compared
we have
to the actual Big Boss. It could be like that Venom Snake is much younger than, or maybe 10 years younger than Big Boss.
Yeah,
he just looks like Big Boss.
Yeah.
The genetics only cosmetically changed him. The surgery just cosmetically changed him. It doesn't mean that he was going to age like Big Boss, that he was going to have gray like Big Boss, or anything like that. So it's, when you look at it like that, it's just like, maybe he was younger when he fought Snake. Maybe. Well,
then who was that guy in Metal Gear?
Well, of course, it didn't connect. It's not connecting well. But these are just theories we're throwing out here. We can just discuss.
So, for me, I feel like he sees, because the transition between that beginning scene when he's smiling, he's like proud of himself, to this one, he kind of passes it looks like he's actually going to pass the mirror. It looks like he's not even going to look at himself. It looks like he kind of saw himself like, oh, wait a minute, I'm here. I'm looking at myself, and he kind of hates himself. He's kind of, for me, it feels like he hates himself for being who he is, and then, kind of goes in, he goes, ksh, and like, sorry, let's do that again. And then, ksh, and kind of breaks the mirror, with the arm, because I feel like he has like some type of resentment towards, I don't know, maybe Big Boss, or maybe he hates who he's become, or maybe he's just angry that Solid Snake is killing everything, his plans, all that he wanted to accomplish. And then for me, when he's going into the place, that black, like, smoky thing, whatever, it kind of means like an afterlife. Like he's going into the afterlife, because you see him, he has no blood. The shrapnel is shortened, to his original state. Right. But also, his clothes aren't like as like worn or whatever or anything. And he's kind of going into the blackness. Maybe that could be like purgatory or something. And he's going into, his doom and his death. But I feel like when he's looking at himself in the mirror, he's kind of like disappointed at himself. He's just like, man, I've done all of this, and I feel like I failed who I've become. Because in the tape, you kind of hear him talking about who he is and who he is and who he is and who he means to Big Boss, and both of you guys are Big Boss. So it feels like the correlation between that kind of just slipped away from Venom. And like that tape, hearing that tape was so far and beyond that it was like he was just gone, And also, if you notice, like the tape that is still there, the where he originally played it from, it's still there, So it's like he hasn't touched this at all. It's kind of like symbolizing like he hasn't heard that tape for a long time, and he kind of forgot who he was, And for me, it's like he punches the mirror and he feels so disconnected from his previous mission and from who he really is. Is he this guy that was in Ground Zeroes when we first see him, or is he Big Boss? Who is he? And I feel like he's just so disappointed in himself, and he just has nowhere else to go, and now he has to fight Solid Snake. So yeah, it would have been great to fight him, of course, but that was obviously Hideo Kojima's decision, or how we heard in other previous things is that a lot of stuff was cut from the game and he didn't have enough time to do it. So who knows?
Well, I mean, I dare say, I would have to say that I don't think he was upset about at Big Boss or anything like that. Remember, this player is you, right? It even breaks the fourth wall at the ending when you see Ocelot speaking to Big Boss, and it was like, don't worry about him. He can handle it. It's basically Ocelot saying, talking about you as the player, you can handle it. You're Big Boss now. This is what he wanted. This is what he wants, right? I think every Metal Gear fan can agree that we all thought of ourselves as Snake at one point in time, or Big Boss, right? Yeah. And so we've got to picture Venom Snake as us and our feelings. What would we have felt given that tape, given that, and you can see it in his face when he hears you're Big Boss. He's very proud of that.
Very proud, yeah.
Like, I am Big Boss now, right? This is me. And so that's why, me personally, I love Part 5 because of that. It's literally Kojima giving you control in terms of like, you're continuing this legacy while he does his work. And you are an extension of him. And I believe that when him breaking that mirror, or rather, it wasn't out of anger. You know what I mean? And it's basically out of, there's no turning back, kind of a deal. I don't think he's dead when he goes into the smoke. I actually believe that he's going to fight him now. Because, I mean, Big Boss didn't fight at all during that operation. Of course he would be clean. You know what I mean? You fight him at the end. You don't, this entire time you're taking orders from him. He's not fighting. You're the one fighting everyone else. You're on his base, essentially. And so he's the final boss. He wouldn't have a scratch on him, I don't think.
No,
he's clean, And so that's where it's just like, before he comes in, he's hardened from battle. That's why you see him with blood and stuff like that, right? You hear all the gunshots and whatever. And so here we go. He takes the tape and he puts it in, and, we see it in the MX2, right? And it's like, it's trying to insinuate that there has been some time passed, right? And when he comes in, it's like a mental, he's preparing himself mentally for this, and he looks at himself one last time and he's like, it's time to do this,
Yeah.
breaks the mirror.
That's good.
And he's like, it's time to go into battle. Not knowing that it would be his last. Maybe he possibly knew, like, there's a very huge possibility that I will die from this.
Yeah. Yeah. Many different theories, of course. I think Hideo Kojima made it like that purposely, like Christopher Nolan, where it's like, did the bottle cap, whatever, stop or not in Inception?
Bottle cap.
What was it?
The totem?
The totem, yeah, the totem.
Spinning topple.
So, you could leave it up to the imagination, of course, as to what that scene can be. And I think that it's great because it had a lot of meaning. And it's like, in the ultimate way, it's kind of like, man, I was Venom Snake this whole time. I was him. But it's kind of in the name, Venom Snake. Venom Snake probably made mistakes and things happened and stuff, so I was reading online, like, it could have been in the comments a while ago that it could have been that Big Boss was disappointed at him, and some stuff happened that he made those decisions of with the nukes and all that, and so just so many things can happen, so many things. I think there's still a lot of gaps. Even though it came full circle, I still think there's a lot of gaps, especially with like, after Venom Snake dies, like, how does Big Boss reacts? Between, and then how did Ocelot and Big Boss come back again to this, and Kaz reacting to it, like, so many things, obviously from between Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2. So it's like, we just gotta obviously play it to the imagination, or maybe wait for Kodama to make one, but I highly doubt that one.
Well, the next one coming is Survive,
so get ready for that.
So that's that. But yeah, we definitely know that the ending is in Outer Heaven, based upon, if you look at the video, you said it prior to, if you look at the video, when before he breaks the mirror, you'll see the Diamond Dogs symbol on the door.
Yeah.
Go watch the video again. It's pretty cool. or maybe we can add it. You think we can add it?
Let's do it.
All right, cool.
Copyrights.
All right, let's break them all. So, and then if once he breaks the mirror, look at it's for a slight second, but you can get it. Look at the symbol again, and it's Outer Haven. It's the Outer Haven symbol.
Yeah.
The skull, right? That's basically where I'm getting that theory about, he's already in Outer Haven. He's going to fight. But yeah, man, it's up for interpretation. Yeah. We at least I believe it does bring it full circle. You do?
It sure does. Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, so that's our answer for you. Please let us know at Under the Cardboard Box at gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at U.C.B.P Podcast. If you like our stuff, please hit that like button. And if you want to get our stuff when it comes out every Friday, you can hit that button that my man is pointing at right now. I hope you enjoyed it, and let us know your thoughts. This was our theory on the MGS5 ending, and we hope to do many more.